Hey there everybody, this is Lee with Creative2xmom, and this video is going to be November Homeschool Favorites. So we are in a new location today. The lighting in this house is not really great, and since it's raining outside today, I needed to move the camera where I could have a little bit more light. So I brought you over to my dining room table. We still have school books out from this morning and half-finished projects back over here. I'm in the middle of grading and doing a bunch of stuff right now, but I wanted to share with you our November homeschool favorites. Some of these are seasonal, some of them are really low cost, and some of them are just all around fun. So I'm going to share with you, I think, the books first. This book is called Thanksgiving Rules by Lori Friedman. It's really hard to find good Thanksgiving books. Christmas is easy. Like next month I'll probably have a ton of favorites, but Thanksgiving can be a little tough. This one was actually really funny. It's this little boy and he goes through all the rules of Thanksgiving, and rule number one being helping your parents, doing what needs to be done around the house because they're busy and you've got friends and family coming, and it goes on to, making sure you greet your guests, making sure mom's going to ask you to look nice and she's going to want to take your picture, so make sure you do all those things. And then of course then there's the rules about dinner and making sure you take lots and making sure you have seconds and making sure you save room for dessert. So this was just a cute one that I thought was fun to share with the kids. Another one we really liked was 'Twas the Night Before Thanksgiving, and it's like 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, but it's 8 little kids that go on a field trip to the turkey farm. They find out the turkeys are going to be killed that night for Thanksgiving, so they decide to rescue the turkeys. So they decide that if these turkeys are going to be killed, they're going to rescue them. So they stuff them under their shirts and they sneak them home on the school bus. Super cute, written to the wording of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Very much so worth your while. I think those are the only Thanksgiving ones I had. Like I said, Thanksgiving's hard to find. We've also been trying to include poetry in our morning time, and so I picked up Eric Carle's Animals, and we started this one probably middle of October sometime, and it's been a lot of fun because we've actually been learning a lot about the animals as well. It's good poetry, it talks about their behavior, some of the stuff the kids already knew, but then there were some poems that we actually learned some scientific concepts from. So this was a good way to include poetry, but also animal study. So if you do any sort of Charlotte Mason type study with nature, I would think this would be a good one to include. We haven't done a lot of Charlotte Mason, so I'm not totally positive, but I felt like this was a good cross-curricular example of using poetry and science together. Now, when I was talking about, I don't remember if it was October favorites or one of the morning basket videos, I'll try to find it, link it down below, I mentioned I don't really like Lois Lowry. She's not my favorite. The Ramona books are not my favorite because of Ramona's attitude. But somebody suggested in the comments that we check out Goonie Bird Green. And so we did. My library only had it on audiobook, but this is the collection, so we've been listening to it in the car. Amazing. I love these. I think this is changing my mind about Lois Lowry. Goonie Bird is a second grader, and she's a very colorful character. They talk about how when she comes to class, you always think she's in costume, even when she's not, just because that's the way she likes to dress. She's kind of eccentric. But these stories are really good. They're super engaging. Goonie Bird is one of those characters that you really kind of start to get invested in, and it's about her antics in the classroom. But what is exceptional about these that I really like is that it teaches writing within the story. So the story that we're listening to right now, the kids are learning about fables, and Goonie Bird challenges them to write their own fable and to dress as one of the characters. So as she's going through this with the kids, and the kids have their own side stories, one has triplet siblings and kind of what goes along with that. But as they're going through the story, they're teaching plot line, they're teaching words like dialogue, they're teaching concepts about fables, that every fable has a moral, every fable has characters and animal characters and how that works together. So I found these not only to be good stories and engaging and well-developed stories, but also the fact that they teach literature concepts at the same time. So this has been really good for my first grader, and it's also been a pretty good review for my fourth grader. She's enjoying them as well, which I was surprised. Since the kids were in second grade, the story is a little bit simple, but with the literature concepts that she's teaching, it's been a good review for her, and she's still really enjoying them too. Speaking of my fifth grader, I'm not going to enroll this all the way, but this is a project that she did in her enrichment math class. She's taking an enrichment math class this year, and they've done a lot of fun things. They've worked with geoboards. They're going to be making candy and baking over the next couple of weeks, so they can talk about measurements and multiplying measurements and that whole concept. But they just finished a unit on area and perimeter. So on this, they were each designing their own zoo. They had to come up with several different animals that they wanted to include in their zoo. The teacher challenged them that they needed to have 2 entrances to the zoo. The walkways had to be a certain dimension, and they had to have so many gift shops, they had to have so many restaurants, and they had to have so many animals within the zoo. And then on their poster board, they're laying out, okay, if I have a bathroom here, I want to have a bathroom on this end. If I've got an entrance on the west side, I probably want to have an entrance on the south or north, possibly. And then they have to go through and lay out each of their animals' habitats. Okay, I'm going to have a larger habitat for the elephants than I probably would for, say, like a hamster, guinea pig, groundhog type area. So they had to think about not only how they're going to lay it out, but then each area they had to figure out the perimeter and the area that would take, plus figuring out all their sidewalks, how you would maneuver throughout the zoo. So this is kind of like their blueprint almost, or their map of what their zoo would look like. They spent several weeks working on this, and it came out really good. So this is one of those projects that I think, you know what, a simple way, very low cost, poster board at the Dollar Tree, and they've laid out a blueprint for the zoo, and it's really reinforced a lot of those math concepts. So if you are looking for a way to do that, you know, just taking your lesson and then spending 10-15 minutes a day on mapping out your zoo, that's a great reinforcement for your child. And I think that's about it. I have one more resource that I'm going to link down below. Since it is Thanksgiving, we have been doing some songs and some poems, and one of those that I found on YouTube is called Albuquerque Turkey, and I will link him down below. It's written to the tune of Oh Susanna, and it's a video. It's super cute. It's about this turkey that has shared with his owner that he would rather be a pet than dinner, and how they have solved this dilemma of, if we can't, you know, sacrifice the turkey, what are we having for Thanksgiving dinner? It's hilarious. It's been one of those that we've incorporated into morning time, and it's been going through all of our heads lately. So it's one of those resources that I just wanted to share with you in the month of November as Thanksgiving is coming up. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed these resources. Definitely, this is by far my favorite for this month, so definitely check out Goonie Bird Green. If you have any homeschool favorites for the month of November, make sure you leave a comment down below. Also, check out the other link I will have down below is for Full-Time Wife Life. She is the originator and the host of all of these homeschool collab videos every month, so I will link her channel down below, and she'll have a link of all the different participants. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.